The so-called Austrian oak has grown a long way from his small-town roots. Born in Thal in 1947, the son of a Nazi policeman, Arnold Schwarzenegger has been quoted as saying, "I knew I was a winner back in the late 60s. I knew I was destined for great things." He tested his theory by using his bodybuilding prowess to escape to America in 1968 and went on to win the Mr. Olympia title a record-breaking 6 years in a row. Throughout his subsequent careers in movies and politics, his dedication to the sport has remained as solid as his abs.
When I retired from bodybuilding competition in 1975, I said, I retire from competition, but I will continue supporting the sport of bodybuilding. And this is what I've done ever since 1975. Continue supporting the sport of bodybuilding through the Arnold's Classic, running the Mr. Olympia competitions, Mr. Universe, having the health conventions and all of those things, working with the Vita magazines and with Muscle and Fitness. I have a great time doing that because I'm such a strong believer that bodybuilding helped me so much in my life. It helped me with discipline and with goal setting and turning my goals into reality and all this. So I always recommend it to every kid, to everyone, to exercise daily and to go and live well with good nutrition, food supplements and all of those things. So I think it is a real great savior for everybody.
Still referred to as the King by Muscle Mag International, Arnie has made a career out of swatting the opposition like flies. In the lead up to winning his 5th Mr. Olympia title, he formed the focus of the groundbreaking documentary Pumping Iron, which shone a light into the do-or-die world of bodybuilding and Arnold's unrivaled determination to win. He then retired to pursue an acting career. In his first starring role in Hercules in New York, his Austrian accent made him so unintelligible that all his lines had to be dubbed in post-production. Despite such a dubious start, he scored a blockbusting hit with his 1982 outing in the sword and sorcery epic Conan the Barbarian.
There were times where people said it can never be done, that an Austrian farm boy can come over to America and get into the movie business and be successful in the movie business. They said we cannot pronounce your name, you cannot speak English well, and your body is overdeveloped. And you know what happened? I became the highest paid entertainer in the world, okay?
As well as the follow-up, Conan the Destroyer, 1984 brought with it the sci-fi thriller that catapulted Arnie into Hollywood history. The title role of James Cameron's Terminator totally complemented his robotic acting style, and the cyborg's monosyllabic speech made the lines manageable. True to his famous quote, "I'll be back," the Terminator returned in 1991, his circuitry wizardly reconfigured to transform him into everyone's best friend. The blockbuster raked in $517 million worldwide. As well as other action blockbusters such as Total Recall and Last Action Hero, he happily poked fun at himself in comedies like Twins and Kindergarten Cop. To just about everyone's disbelief, Arnie had become one of Hollywood's brightest stars.
What's he good at? Oh my God. I think basically, I mean, he's amazing for so many. He has done more movies and less dialogue than possibly any actor besides Lassie. I think you have to go like, even the dog's going, "Ah! I said something, ah! Go with."
Even in 2002, at the age of 55, he was still packing them in around the world at screenings of his disaster epic Collateral Damage. By the time premieres of the 3rd installment of Terminator rolled around the following year, the word was out that he was thinking of running for governor of California. But like all good politicians, Arnie was playing his cards close to his chest.
I don't think about that now. I only think about Terminator 3. That's all I'm promoting.
But his refusal to comment about the impending race for governorship didn't stop the fans from sticking in their 2 cents.
I think Arnold Schwarzenegger is a great guy. I think he's a solid. He's got a political background. He's got the whole Kennedy connection with Maria. And it would not have been the first time, of course, that California's had a governor who's come from Hollywood, right? So Yeah, I think it'd be great.
There was certainly no denying that Arnold's marriage to former President John F. Kennedy's niece Maria Shriver had given him great political connections. And early in 2002, he'd become very vocal in his support of an election to recall Californian Governor Gray Davis.
Gray Davis has terminated jobs. Gray Davis has terminated dreams. Gray Davis has terminated opportunities. And now it is time that we terminate him.
And when Arnold puts his mind to something, everyone else might as well go home. After announcing he would stand if voters decided to recall Gray Davis in October 2003, he got on the bus to deliver the kind of rabble-rousing rhetoric movie heroes are famous for.
This is why 1.6 million people have signed a recall petition. And they're basically saying we are mad as hell and we are not going to take it anymore.
Without having served a day in public office and hardly known for his eloquence, Arnie was the runaway favourite going into the polls.
I think he's the man, and we need a change, and he's the perfect one. So I'm tired of all the old stuff. He hasn't been in politics, but he knows about them, so I think he'll do it.
And he did. On his promise to rebuild California's economy and put the needs of children first, as well as reforming the political system, he swept to victory by a massive margin of 1.3 million votes. Newly dubbed the Governator, he enjoyed early successes by repealing an unpopular hike in vehicle registration fees and by banning the issue of driver's licenses to illegal immigrants. After this, however, he encountered some rocky times due to some major run-ins with unions, and in 2005 he saw all 4 of his proposed measures voted down in a special election. With the general fortunes of the Republican Party flagging, he appointed Democrat Susan Kennedy as Chief of Staff and mounted a forward-thinking and far-reaching campaign to combat global warming, backing research into alternative forms of energy. He signed a bill to create the nation's first cap on greenhouse emissions. Putting his own money where his mouth was, he also adapted one of his Hummers to run on hydrogen and installed solar panels in his home. He also joined forces with fellow action star Jackie Chan to combat video piracy in Hong Kong, and took the opportunity to emphasize the fact that he chooses not to draw a salary for his role as California's governor.
I don't make any money, not even as governor. I gave my salary back also to the state of California because I'm in no need of cash. I've made plenty of money in my life, luckily through my movie business and through real estate investments and other wise investments, that now I can go and be a public servant and not think about my income and all that. To just think about how can I make California a richer state and how can I make California a more efficient state.
In November 2006, he was re-elected to office with a margin of well over 1 million votes. Since then, one of the issues he's been forced to address is the matter of fixing a $26 billion deficit. Falling back on his talents as an actor, he proved he was no fuddy-duddy by posting a video on his Twitter account in February 2009 to thank followers for sending in their budget balancing ideas.
Oh. Hey guys, I just want to say thanks very much for all the great ideas you're giving me. I mean, we talked about making some cuts in the budget, getting rid of some of the state cars, and then all of a sudden you come up with the great ideas. Why not just sign the cars? Since you're a celebrity governor, sign the cars and sell it for more money. That's exactly what we're going to do. So I love your ideas. Give me more of those ideas. We need it.
Despite drawing criticism from some journalists and media commentators, his colourful post drew more than 33,000 hits within 24 hours. And Arnie later defended the video by saying, "Being saddened by cutting budgets did not mean that you cannot wave a knife around or wave your sword around to get the message across that certain cuts have to be made." He's also been keeping up his commitment to lead the charge against global warming. Wearing an emerald green tie to ram the point home, he spoke of the need to invest in environmental technology for the 2009 Seabit Fair in Germany. With his second term as governor soon coming to an end, many political commentators are tipping that Arnie will soon make a bid for a seat in the US Senate. Referred to as the King by Muscle Mag International, Arnie has made a career out of swatting the opposition like flies. In the lead up to winning his 5th Mr. Olympia title, he formed the focus of the groundbreaking documentary Pumping Iron, which shone a light into the do-or-die world of bodybuilding and Arnold's unrivaled determination to win.
Doing that because I'm such a strong believer that bodybuilding helped me so much in my life. It helped me with discipline and with goal setting and turning my goals into reality and all this. So I always recommend it to every kid, to everyone, to exercise daily and to go and live well with good nutrition, food supplements and all of those things. So I think it is a real great savior for everybody.
Still bodybuilding prowess to escape to America in 1968 and went on to win the Mr. Olympia title a record-breaking 6 years in a row. Throughout his subsequent careers in movies and politics, his dedication to the sport has remained as solid as his abs.
When I retired from bodybuilding competition in 1975, I said, I retire from competition, but I will continue supporting the sport of bodybuilding. And this is what I've done ever since 1975. Continue supporting the sport of bodybuilding through the Arnold's Classic, running the Mr. Olympia competitions, Mr. Universe, having the health conventions and all of those things, working with the Vida magazines and with Muscle and Fitness. I have a great time.
The so-called Austrian oak has grown a long way from his small-town roots. Born in Thal in 1947, the son of a Nazi policeman, Arnold Schwarzenegger has been quoted as saying, "I knew I was a winner back in the late 60s. I knew I was destined for great things." He tested his theory by using his body